If you are in college, then you have to listen to this conversation I had with Riten Devnath, in which I talked about the inspiration behind Fueler, the struggles of a bootstrap startup, how does he manage his time. He talks about his journey of growing Fueler from scratch, getting those user feedbacks, and much more in this one single podcast episode. Make sure you watch till the end, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's hear it from Riten. Bro, we'll quickly jump on to what is Fueler and where does it come in for a developer.
Great. So yeah, let me share a small story here. Okay, so like I was in a meeting today, so it was more like a summit. Okay, so we had a lot of startups coming up there, so like they were sharing about their ideas and stuff. So most of them were into like edtech as well. They were pitching their idea that one can learn from here and stuff. So let me share this thing. Currently what happens is like there is this learning, and this is where the opportunities are created, where you make money. Okay, in between there is a validation. Okay, so that is a layer which was always obvious. Okay, it was the obvious reason, like we are already assumed that someone would already know, right, something, and based on that they'll be making money. But it's not true. Currently it has changed. You have to validate that, and that is where Fueler comes to the picture. So how like we make it so simple for us, for anybody, for any person, to come up and showcase any of their work. It could be article, it could be PDF, it could be PPT. Okay, it could be their like say GitHub, the project that is being hosted on GitHub. Okay, also any personal website. So any sort of work they can showcase it here. So Fueler, we are building this platform for the journalist individual, who are quite good at a lot of other things as well, beside just only one niche. So currently there are different platform for different like you can say skills. But we are trying to bring that in a single platform where you as an individual, you can create multiple version of yourself, right? So for example, if I'm supposed to apply for a developer role, okay, so what I can do, what I would have done is like I would collected all my projects that I have maybe hosted somewhere, and I would have sent it. Okay, but currently what I can do, like I can also share my articles that I have done. Okay, so maybe I could have written some sort of case studies about, say, like my open source contribution, or say like about some projects. Also some sort of I have knowledge about product as well, how the product works. Like some sort of you can say product management. If I have skills regarding that as well, so if I'm able to create some deck out of it, so that is an addition for me, right? That is an addition for my portfolio, right? So you can say there is one case where I'm just sharing the project that I've been posted somewhere. Also there is a case where I'm also sharing the projects. Also I'm sharing say articles. Also I'm sharing the decks. Or also I'm sharing, say, some sort of ebooks maybe I have written. Okay, so I have created a separate landing page of it, and I can share it with someone. So it's like proof of work. Basically Fueler is mainly for the proof of work part, where I say like the validation part, where you yourself as a person, you prove yourself, right? And how do you prove it? By showcasing what you have done with your skills, right? So you can say the later person has always a better chance to connect with the other person, because they will eventually understand ki, hey, like this person has done this sort of works, and like it shows your efforts, right? So yeah, that is what Fueler is all about. And as a developer, we already have a lot of developers on our on our platform. So like currently they are using this way, the way I have told you. Even we are also creating awareness around that. How you can maximize your, say, chances to land into opportunities, right? Just don't share your projects. Also make some good thing about it. Try to write about it, document it really nice. Okay, so that so that it impresses your say employer, like whoever you are applying to, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, like I hope like I was able to explain this.
Yeah, very beautifully you put the answer, Riten.
Thank
So,
you so much.
following up on this question, were you looking for something similar when you started Fueler, or how did this basically, what were you trying to do? What were you trying to achieve?
Okay, so I'll come to I'll start from the beginning. Okay, so like Fueler is a, like you can say, is a result of a pivot. So let me tell you the previous story of it. Like back in my college days, so that I always saw this, like my friends and like say teachers and anybody, like they were complaining. Like they were like, there are no jobs in the market and stuff. But that is not true,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are jobs in the market. It's just you have to be a right person to go and apply into that thing, right? So
Hmm.
like we started building a platform, it was called something else previously. Okay, so we simply started with the platform where we thought like city wise would be bringing up companies. We'll just ask them, please post all the opportunities that you have, and based on that, one person living in any city, they would be able to apply and get a job or whatever it is, right? So we
Hmm.
thought that would be enough, but that is not how things work, right? Startups are just like say one person idea, and rest it's about distribution and creating a lot of other things for an idea. Okay, also I have learned that you have to become the right person to work on an idea, so like yeah, like we thought like it would be simple, like you just have to build it and like people will come, so like that's how we learned, and we realized that we were bringing companies, okay, without having the people who would apply here. It's like in context of IPL, I always share this with a lot of people that like say we were trying to bring out franchises, without having the IPL team, right? So like
Hmm. Hmm.
exactly. So without having the IPL team as in the players, so we didn't have any players. It's
Hmm.
like we were trying to create the demand part first, right? Without having the supply, right? So like that's when we realized like we need to like bring here people, like also make it super easy and simple for them, like also give them a platform where they can express themselves, So we thought like why not come up with a thing, where they would be able to showcase their work, right? Whatever they have done, okay, and honestly, like this thing never came up until and unless we joined Twitter. Twitter has been a
Hmm.
great, like you can say, it has been a like great turning point for us. Where we actually learned this thing. Like proof of work. Okay, previously it was something else. Where like it would be say portfolio, it would be our personal project. But we actually got this perfect word for this. That is proof of work. We saw a lot of people
Hmm.
talking about their a thing now, like whenever you are hiring someone, please look for their proof of work. So we are like, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly, that is what we are building at Fueler. That is what we are trying to like do, show your work. Okay, so previously on our Twitter there was this this line, show your work. We actually use that thing, because in that way we were able to connect with our audience. They were able to understand this platform. Okay, this tools allows you to show your work, right? So currently it's not there. Also the name has changed. Previously it was something else. So yeah, like back to the story. So like we joined Twitter and we saw a lot of people are discussing about this, and we got our thing. We got our target audience. And previously we were into some other social platform, but it didn't work for us, and we were targeting the wrong audience. So like
Hmm.
coming back to Twitter, we understood this is what our target audience is, and we need to focus on them. Like go and talk with them and understand their requirements. Okay, what are the different things that they do? Also, we have seen a lot of people are good at a lot of things. Like they can do this, they can do this, and they can do this. Okay, but like
True.
again, they have to publish it in different platforms, right? Also, a lot of people have their own websites, but again, that those website doesn't have discovery. Like that website could be anywhere, but you don't know
Hmm.
where that person is, right? So the fueler, the concept of fueler came from all of this, like where we thought let's build a platform where we can find journalists very easily, the people who are multi-skilled, who knows a lot of stuff together. Okay, and at the same time they are able to present themselves better, so create a simple tool. You can say the full you can say we are on the way to create this full stack work portfolio thing, where you'd be able to like dump you can whatever work you have done, and as per requirement you can use for freelancing, use it for brand collaboration, you can use it for say job or any sort of things you want to achieve. So like that is what Fueler is going to be in the coming time. Even it's there, but we call it more of a tool rather than the platform.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah.
Wow, wow. Very inspiring, very inspiring. So,
Yeah,
bro,
thank you.
do you think that online profiles, portfolios, going forward, will these replace CVs and resumes?
uh, so like See, like I don't think I'm the right person to comment on this, okay, because I see like CVs and resumes are more like a equation in the society. Like
Mm-hmm.
CVs and resumes are more like an equation in the society. Like whichever like say whichever job or any sort of say job, mostly jobs and internship you apply, they ask for your resumes and CVs. What we
Mm-hmm.
saw, like, see, this proof of work, it will be aid to your existing resume
Hmm.
and CVs. Also it saves a
All
lot
right.
of time of your employers. So whenever
Mm-hmm.
they already know this person has this skill, now I need to see what this person can do, right? That
Mm-hmm.
proof of work
Exactly.
thing, that work on your filler profile, whenever you share it, it's like you it gives a clear picture, right, what exactly you have done. Okay, and it makes the discussion relevant. Okay, it makes
Mm-hmm.
the discussion more fruitful. Even from the employer point of view, they are like, hey, like, let's come to the point directly. Okay, and let's discuss about the work. And what interesting thing are happening currently, like people have all this employer, they have already gone through your work. Now they're just getting on a call to
Hmm.
discuss about your personal life. So imagine the
Hmm.
kind of proof of work this proof of work thing is like doing impact to your life, so like it's like an a vulgar entry, like vulgar entry
Yeah.
while breaking into
Mm-hmm.
startup, right? So we see it in that way. So I won't be saying it like it will be replacing it, say in the next 2 3 years. Okay, it will take some time. Currently the awareness is very less, very less. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to create massive awareness with Fueler. We have created a lot of assets, and there are going to be like asset in the coming time, and there will be a lot more where like people will be understanding, also a college student will be having this understanding, also an objective. Okay, after this learning,
Yep.
okay, what happens next? So I have to create something out of it. Okay, so that objective
Mm-hmm.
has to be there, and we are trying to bring that up for the people. Yeah.
True, true, very true. Also, like talking more about Fueler, I want to ask you two things that you're most proud of. One thing that is for the user, like what is that you have done at Fueler that you're most proud of for the user, and the other thing which you are proud of, like it can be work culture, it can be the community, it can be the team. What are the two best things?
Okay, so like for the tool, right? For the tool, I would say like it's about this liberty, liberty to express yourself, right?
Hmm.
The freedom, it's like that platform allows you to publish, okay, your work. That is what it allows you. Like you can publish any sort of your work. It doesn't have any limits, and we have made it so simple that you can just go and put it out there. Okay, you have all the simple things over there. Just go and put it out, type it out there. Okay, and publish it. That's it. That is how simple it is. Okay, and number two would be about like what we understood, like humans are explorer, they are curious individuals, right? Also these Gen Z's currently in the market, they are more of this explorers, they are into so many stuff, so with Fueler, we want to give this platform to them where like they are explorer, they are into so many different things. Okay, so make it so easy for them so that they have this track record of whatever they have done, so whenever moving forward they want to like showcase or say like get into any companies or startups or anywhere, they have a track of it. Hey, like I have done this sort of things, but what happens currently is like most of us have lost all our track of work, like maybe sometimes it's on say WhatsApp, sometimes it's on our drive, sometimes it's on our say Google Doc and everything. So currently we're trying to solve this problem where like just like keep a track of your work here, it's your full stack work portfolio where you can publish your work, and moving forward you can as per your niche, as per your say interest, you can apply into different companies with sort of work you can do. So I told you, right, Fueler allows you to create multiple landing pages of your character, so one person can have multiple say 100 characters, for applying for 100 different companies or say 100 freelancing, say like whatever it is, so it helps you create different landing page for a different sort of work. So yeah, I guess I covered the two part, and for the team part, I'll be like mostly proud of the team, the passion of putting things together and work, and we told you we're a very small team, like oh,
Mm-hmm.
like we have seen very low times in our career, so it was very tough, because we were directionless. We were not able to get any response from any people because see, tags really matter. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so like people might say now like tags won't be mattering, just your merit matter and stuff. That is not true. Okay, not true in our case because we have seen it very closely. Okay, we grew from scratch in social media. Like we have earned it. You can say, earned it how? By delivering to the community what they need exactly, right? They need this, and we're always planning. Even today before coming to this, like call, I was planning this what we are creating next, for the community, right? So you can say we have learned a lot by observing, observing and discussing, having a discussion with the team, and discussing what exactly our target audience need. Okay, what something that would help them, understanding consumer surplus is such a plus point for a startup, I believe. When you have this understanding of consumer surplus, you can always delight your customers. Trust me, customers or be it your users. That is the like number one point about the team, like very hardworking. They were very passionate about what they are doing, they understand the problem statement, what exactly the world is facing and how you can tackle it. And number two would be like the fun factor, so like fun factor in our startup, we always keep this fun thing very closely, whenever like we are getting on a call with someone or say anybody, I always just ask this question: are you happy today? Like what is it? It's not just about the work. Now whenever I'm getting on a call with someone, so I'm always discussing a lot of things, to understand the person better, rather than just giving a demo about the tool and everything. So we take this fun thing very seriously, whenever we are in a team, we use memes and gif and a lot of other stuff, we at least try to keep this culture where there is fun. Okay, so if you're not happy doing it, you won't be doing it, because startups are tough. Trust me, like you need to have a lot of factors. It has a lot of factors that keeps the things together. So like if you're only talking about the work, okay, you're already thinking from the logic point of view, you won't be making it, right? There are a lot of other things, where you have to take care of a lot of other people who are coming in together. They are giving their time in the peak time of their career. So you have to like go with the trend, like understand what their motivations are, the incentive, like incentives, and a lot of other things. So you can say like the second point would be fun. Like we take this very seriously in our culture, where we're actually having fun and say we are happy doing the work. So at least we try to work around this, how to make it more fun. Yeah.
One more thing which I'm really curious to ask most of the startup founders whom I talk to is like, if I give you a chance to go back and start Fueler from scratch again, I know you are very early, but if I give you a chance, with all this experience and all these learnings, would you do something differently or not?
Yes, absolutely. Like number one thing would be Twitter. So taking Twitter seriously from day one. Because see, there are a lot of businesses, okay, and there are startups. Startups are totally different. We always like use this term for a lot. We generalize this thing. Like startup. Tomorrow I'm starting an agency, so we are calling it a startup. So that is not true. Okay, so startups are mainly like something new you are doing in the market. You have to validate the idea. Talk with your
Exactly.
customers, take it to them, sell them. You can tell them if that is something that will be helpful for them or not. That is how I see startup. Okay, but so when
Hmm.
you're trying to build something like a startup, that is something new in the market and nobody like know about it. So the main target audience that you will be finding, it's on Twitter. You will find your early adopters on Twitter. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on the other social platform where we didn't find our target audience. Like we always ask them and they were like, yeah, it's good, it's fine, but we didn't get the actual feedback that we needed.
Hmm.
That's when you can say like Twitter comes in the picture. Twitter is really great. Like, trust me, I can like speak for hours about Twitter. Like it filters out people. It filters out people, filters out like-minded people for you. Okay, that's how we found our tribe. Our community. Currently, a lot of people like they know us from the Fueler page. They enjoy getting the contents over there. Okay, so
Hmm.
if you say like going back, so I would say taking Twitter very seriously. And try to be create more content for the community, taking them more seriously, what exactly they need. Okay, what exactly they would value. Okay, so we'll be getting on a call with them, and obviously like over time you get this courage, like courage of doing more. Okay, so
Hmm.
going back, I would say like I would do stuff, like we would do stuff, that is say more bold and more courageous. Okay, rather than just like thinking a lot inside our head that if this thing is going to
Hmm.
work or
Hmm.
not, right? So we
Yep.
would like just take bold step, because we know the first time things wouldn't be say perfect. You have to iterate it over time and again, right? So yeah, like that is the two thing I would mention here. And apart from that, I don't have anything in my mind at the moment. Yes, and obviously we'll talk to a lot of our users. That is what at least I'll do personally. I do it.
Hmm.
So like whenever you're low, I always suggest this to every startup founder. Please go and talk with your users. Like ask about their well-being, what they are doing. Like just try
Hmm.
to talk with them. It's like you'll have this different sort of understanding about what they are thinking about you or not. Like what's your relationship, like apart from your product. So that's how it helps you keep going. That's how we got a lot of ideas to implement on Fueler. Trust me. We didn't have a lot of features previously, but talking to our users only helped us to come up with a lot of ideas. So yeah,
Hmm.
like
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like Riten, we have been talking for the past 20 minutes, and you have brought up multiple times like how startups are tough. So, like these days, or in the recent past at least, I have observed that young folks want to start a startup just for the sake of it being glamorous.
correct.
So, I want to know, like, what are the struggles you have faced bootstrapping your startup, and like, what is it to be behind the scenes? What is it past that glamour?
Uh, so see, I guess this particular question needs a different session, like 1 hour discussion stuff. There are a lot of stuff, trust me, like there are a lot of things. And we have, as I told you, like we have seen a lot of low times, like struggling with a lot of stuff. You are doing stuff, but you're not getting the results. So it always like bothers you, right? Why this is not working? Why did we miss out? So I would like to make a great point, and that is credibility. Credibility really matters. Your tag really matters. Trust me. Okay, your
Mhm.
tags really matters. So what I would request to every college students, if you're actually trying to do something, okay, or maybe you have a plan to go and start up in the future, or maybe after college or anything, please go and be associated with startup. Please just go, pick any startup, okay, just find way to get in, that's it. Okay, don't think
Hmm.
about money and stuff. A lot of people will tell you now, like internship, it should give you good money and stuff. That is bullshit, trust me. If you're hungry for learning, you just get in. Okay, our team in Fueler, we have a lot of folks, they just came up on their own, and they are so passionate about learning that they really want to experience how startups are like, and we love working with them. We love sharing our ideas and how things are. Whenever we have this discussion, we share we share how this week was, what we achieved in this week, and a lot of other discussion, like what would be doing in the next week and stuff. So like this sort of understanding, or say this kind of discussion, will automatically like elevate your thinking process, trust me. So like I even made a video on this, like my latest published video on YouTube is this only, like why go and work in a startup. So this is also one of my mistake I did in my college life. I should have I should have like taken this serious, go and work with startup. Maybe connect with them, getting some way to just connect with them and see how things are like. Because that way you'll be learning a lot. See, what I say, like startup is like 20 year of journey compressed into 5 years, right? So imagine the kind of like growth you will have, right? So that is
Hmm.
the easiest way to understand, right? If you can take this pressure, like you would be different person, say in a 3 month or 6 month. Okay, so if you say like about the hard button, there are so many things, like rejections, and like Fueler, we grew like first 1,000 users just by DMing people. We just went there, we asked everyone, just texting each one of them, customizing our message and send them,
Hmm.
like, hey, like we created this tool, would you be using it, or give us a feedback about this. So they were like, there were a lot of people, they were really kind, but 90% of them never replied back, so that's totally fine. But currently they connect, they connect with us and they share their thing, so that
Exactly,
is
exactly.
totally fine. That is totally fine, we understand, because I told you, right? Credibility, it's about credibility. See, if you're someone with
True.
very less follower on social media, it will always like make the other person doubt your credibility, right? Who's this person? Why should I give them time? Why should I trust you? So that is not their fault, what
True.
I see. So there are very less people who would actually pay attention to, they don't care about your numbers. There are very less people, but actually, this thing really matters. Your social capital really matters. If you have great
Hmm.
following on Twitter, or say any platform, okay, it really helps you. Okay, it really helps you, because like we have seen the changes. So previously it took some other, like maybe we have done, say, like 10 messages. Okay, we have done 10 messages and got reply. But currently we just send out one message, and we get the reply. And why is that? Because that is what credibility is all about, right? Yeah. And apart from this, like there are so much decision fatigue, like decision fatigue, like every time you are taking decisions, like micro decisions, like we should do that or not, we should do that or not. And being a bootstrap
Hmm.
startup, like you have very limited resources, trust me. Because if you have some sort of, say, funding and any similar, you can experiment a lot. For us, every experiment costs you, right? Every experiment will cost you money, okay, especially the money
True,
and
true.
time, right? So we have to decide, like we have to make the decision, like at a very fast pace. We have to understand the market and everything. So you can say that thing came up, like in the team, from reading a lot of books, books, and say like articles and stuff. We read a lot, our team reads a lot, because insights is super important. Insights are super important when you're building a startup, right?
True,
As I
true.
told you, right, startups are something new you're trying to do in the market, right? So you have to always have the understanding about the world, how the market is going, how everybody is reacting. And say, suppose you got a DM, you got a, say, message, someone may be complaining, so you need to have that understanding how to respond to that. So you need to have that worldview of what I should do, so that the other person responds, like that other person is happy with what we are applying. So as I told you,
Hmm.
like, there are so many decisions that you have to take on a daily basis in a startup. And I guess this happens to every team. They go through this thing, where they have to decide, they have to take a lot of decisions, micro decisions. So yeah, this is pretty much from my end. And doing, and what to do next, I guess defining the scope, that was one of the hardest part for us, because I started working on this side of my college. And like having experience, I guess, plays a very great role here, where you have this understanding of scope of work. Scope, like, with scope, I mean is, what I mean is, like, you at least know what to do, right? So for example, when you have a manager, right, they tell you, right, ki, hey, like you,
Hmm.
you have this task, just get this done. okay, and you do it. But in a startup, you're the person picking yourself up and taking you forward, right? So you have to define the scope, right? You have to list them down. Okay, these are the things that are going to work. Okay, after I'm getting this done, okay, what are the results that I'm getting, right? Again, deciding based on that the next day what I'm going to do, right? So you have to decide the scope, and not just for yourself, for the team, and say like a lot of other stakeholders in the team, right?
Very nice answer, very insightful answer, I must say. Moving on. So you mentioned that being a bootstrap startup founder, you have to do so much stuff. You have to reach out to people, you have to gain customer feedback, you have to gain your first few thousand followers, you have to take those micro decisions. So how does your day look like?
Like so every day is different, currently, like it starts with a meeting. We have a team meeting every day, okay? So we discuss what we did yesterday. Currently we are documenting that, okay? So we just get on a call. We discuss what happened yesterday and what we are going to do today, right? That is how we set our agenda, okay? And after that we get on a, like, we start working on it. That's it, like. And obviously, for me, like, I spent a lot of time with say with our users, talking to them, like, helping them how to leverage their profile on Furor. What are the feedbacks that will be helpful for them. So I work a lot. I spend a lot of time around that. Also writing emails, I do that a lot. Also, like, also, like, yes, social media as well, okay? I spend time on Twitter, because I really want, and for that reason only I tweeted few days back, wish we had 48 hours, how to make your, how to have
Yeah, I read
48
that.
hours in 24 hours, right? So it,
Yes.
it went crazy, like a lot of people gave a lot of suggestions. So, like, the reason I asked that question, because like I was not having time to spend on Twitter, and Twitter is, you can say, it gave us a lot of, say, like, credibility. Like 80% of our referrals are from Twitter. Like, can you imagine? Like, so that is the craziest thing we have done, at least on Furor. So
Hmm.
you can say, like, for me, I spend time on Twitter, connecting, like, folks, DMing people. Okay, also on the brand page, where you are replying to other
Hmm.
people, you are connecting, you are making tweets, and obviously discussing with the team. And in between, we have a lot of calls. We use Discord for our in-team discussions, and connect with ambassadors, interns, and, like, this is how it goes. Okay, so to make it interesting, I listen to music at time, so yeah, take breaks, also read books at time. So yeah, that is how it is helping me.
Perfect, perfect. Then if I talk about your early days, did you always want to start a startup anyway? Or after this idea, after this problem, you figure out that okay, this is something that I can work on for the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so like, yeah, definitely. See, like, I come from a background, where, you can say, like, it's very unconventional. Like, business is something very new for
Hmm.
me. Okay, so I wanted to
True.
take this leap of faith. I was like, let's do something around this. I want to do something around this. I was that passionate about startups and everything, because, like, there is this saying, right? So always take something very challenging in your life, right?
Hmm.
Always, like, when you're young in your career, always take the most difficult path that you can. So that, you can say, that was for me. And I told you, right, I was trying to solve this problem, where, like, people, like, are able to land opportunities, right? And in the company they desire, right? Or say, like, there should be this, or they should be able to find works, right, based on their merits and thing. So, like,
True.
obviously, over time we learned a lot of stuff. We were wrong previously. How we were doing it. Our approaches were wrong. And made a lot of mistakes over time, and we understood. And obviously, the maturity really matters. And say, let me explain this to you in a very simple time. When you're in college life, okay, this is how your graph looks like. Okay, so this is how your, so this tip of the, this mountain, or say peak, that is where insights are, that is where your exposure and everything's are. But for example, when you're working in a startup, or say, very very, okay, startup, okay, in maybe Silicon Valley or any sort of startup, so this peak goes this, like, this big. Okay, so where your
Hmm.
exposure and everything is different, right? You are sitting here and you are seeing the world, right? But here it's very small, right? So you can say that is the problem I faced, in
True.
my life as well. I literally made a drawing out of it. If you allow me, I can show you just a sec.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So, like, I make drawings a lot. So as
Wow.
you can see, right, two sides, right? So
Hmm.
this is the, like, the
Wow.
later part, and this is the initial part. When
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
in a
Hmm. Hmm.
college,
Hmm.
okay, your
Wow.
experience, your exposure, and your, say, like, learning curve, and
Hmm. Hmm.
insights
Hmm.
are very less, and 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 if you look back now, you get this idea. Hey, like these ideas are very simple, and it could be done. It could be replaced very easily, or it's very hard to build a moat
Mm-hmm.
around it. So you have this understanding. But back in your school, say college days, you don't have this sort of things thinking. You're just like just building stuff, and you are like, hey, I've done
Mm-hmm.
something, right? But as I told you,
Wow.
right, when you say move ahead in your career, work with some say reputed startup or any sort of startup, it gives you that experience, it gives you that insights, right? So yeah, that is how I put this, in back in the college days, like you don't have this sort of
Mm-hmm.
experience and say what understanding of the market and how things work. It's very
True.
rare when you are say in a tier 1 colleges, like it gives you that exposure and ecosystem, but
True.
mostly
True. True.
tier 2 3 cities, like you don't have those, right? So you have to maybe make your way to that and maybe start from there.
Wow. 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 This conversation has been so amazing. Like I have just lost track of time, Riten. Wow. I mean, okay.
Thank
So
you,
to
thank you.
round off this conversation, one last question: what is next for Fueler?
So I would just break in here, like we would be like targeting as in like I have a question for you as well. Okay, so like tell me,
Okay.
okay, like tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So like all these cohorts, all this cohort and all these workshops, okay, and all
Mm-hmm.
these like training institutes are there, right? So what do you think their
Mm-hmm.
proof of work is? Can you answer me that?
What their proof of work gives?
What is their proof of work? Like for individual, my projects are my proof of work, right?
Hmm.
My projects, my articles, whatever,
Hmm.
right? But for
Hmm.
institute or say for a cohort, what is their proof of work? Can you say that?
Their alumni, their graduates.
Yeah, but like where
Though.
do you find them? Say let's take an example of XYZ, okay, like cohort, okay, which helps you become front end developer, okay, and after that you get a
Mm-hmm.
job and opportunity, right? They claim this
Mm-hmm.
on their website and everything, right? So what do you think their proof of work is? Like any idea, like any views on this?
To be honest, I can't think about anything. Now that you're asking me this question, I'm really struggling to find any answers to this.
So like imagine now, like what if that cohort is able to showcase all their projects, right? Projects as in the people, those who have learned from there, right? So for example, the people who have learned from that cohort and they are able to showcase what they have built, and that cohort is able to showcase that to you. So that do you think it would help your decision making?
Yeah, obviously, right now you only have a few testimonials, and
Correct,
though you cannot, cross check them, you cannot
correct,
verify them. So you just have to take that leap of faith. You just have to trust them.
correct, correct. Yes, so like that is what I told you, like that is next on Fueler, like we are going to like we are going to help this cohorts, bring them more sales, and say like sales as in terms of say like express themselves better, where they are able to showcase what their students have done, that is.
Hmm.
And yes, moving forward, as I told you, we are going to like build this platform where collaboration becomes very easy. It's like I told you, like it's like GitHub but for journalist individual, where like you
Hmm.
as a person get into the website, you find folks, check out what they have done and maybe collaborate in some of them, so we are going to make collaboration super easy for people. Okay, so like going on Fuller, you will be finding folks, you'll be finding projects that you can contribute. It's not like just find people whom you want to contribute. It's also about the project. So maybe I have learned something right now. Okay, now like I have two options, right? Either to not do anything, okay, or go apply for job with my certificate, or other option is
Hmm.
just say like just build something from scratch, right? But on Fuller, we are going to have this section where people would be able to contribute on a project. Okay, it's not just currently it's available at GitHub, right? But the same thing
Yeah.
is applicable on other professions as well, say for marketing, for writing, okay, for content,
Hmm.
okay, for designing, right? So like this is the other part of it, okay, so where people would be able to
Hmm.
collaborate, where they'll be finding projects to collaborate with, okay. And obviously as I told you, like it's very hard to start something from scratch, and that is when we lose our motivation to do something. So what if there is this community where I can find folks who have already done some sort of work, and I can directly jump in, so
Hmm.
eventually like
Interesting.
people will come together, and eventually they can start something big in the future, right? So maybe we will try to solve that as well. So if like and to be very honest, we don't want to like become this hiring platform and stuff. We are focusing more on the platform part, where like you are able to just play around with your work. That is what we are trying to become, and and literally credits to the team. They have, and they are doing crazy amount of work. A few team fueler. They are so passionate, and trust me, let's have a call someday with all of the team. You'll love their energy and stuff. Okay, so yeah,
Sure,
all
sure.
credits to them. The kind of passion that they display. The kind of strength that they display. Yes, we can do it. Even having without any tag. So yeah, there are down times around this, but it's okay. Like currently, we are able to fight. So yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. I loved every bit of this conversation. I learned a lot. It inspired me a lot. So thanks for doing this.
It's okay. Like means a lot to our team as well. Because like coming here and sharing about our journey, it's like a very big thing for us. Trust me. And when I'm going to share this with the team now, like say we got a chance to tell about ourselves, so they'll be really happy to know this. Okay. And yes, as I told you, like when you're bootstrapping, every sort of say like inspiration or say any sort of help that you get or support, it's like you say like a very big thing for us. So yeah,
True,
thank you
true,
so much,
true,
Sanskar, for doing this.
true,
Yeah.
true.